This year's postseason has been incredible. Though the ratings have been a little low and viewership has been down, the bubble has really exposed players and really has shown us to players that have heart. Because with no crowd, it's really just them going out there and hooping in an open gym. And we're seeing the breakout of so many guys. And today in this video, we're going to talk about some of those guys. But before we get started, make sure you like this video, subscribe to NBA Knowledge. And now let's talk about the players that have been the most surprising this postseason. The first player that we are going to talk about is the one and only Jamal Murray. Coming into the playoffs, one of the real reasons I didn't take the Denver Nuggets serious is because Jamal Murray can be very inconsistent. We saw it last year in the postseason, not just against the Spurs, but also against the Portland Trail Blazers, primarily in Game 6 and 7. But this year, he put on a whole new attitude and approach in the bubble. Because in the bubble this postseason, Jamal Murray literally played like a superstar, putting up averages of 26 to 27 points per game, 6 to 7 assists, grabbing 5 rebounds, while shooting nearly 51% from the field, 45% from 3, on 7 attempts a game, while shooting 90% from the free throw line. Now, I know defensively, he's not really that good, but he had other players step up on that end, and his offensive contributions were greatly appreciated, especially on a team like the Denver Nuggets, who also have another offensive superstar alongside him playing at an elite level in Nicola Jokic. As a duo, they just took over in the bubble, coming back from 2 consecutive 3-1 deficits in back-to-back rounds against the Utah Jazz and then against the Los Angeles Clippers. This team was incredible, and a lot of the success was due to the elevated level of play by Jamal Murray. I gotta give it to him, man. I was really wrong about Jamal Murray. He proved me wrong. I thought he was just another guy that he's a nice scorer, but he's just too inconsistent to be considered anything better than that. But now this guy is a legitimate star. He's an actual star in the NBA. I don't think he's going to always put up these kind of averages. I think this is a little too much to ask for, especially this crazy level of efficiency. And maybe it's being in the bubble that has contributed to that. But regardless, man, you got to give him props. And I think him being a 20 point per game scorer, 23, 22 point per game scorer, that's not too much to ask for. And that's honestly what the Nuggets need, considering that they already have Nikola Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. is coming up. And then don't forget, Bol's going to be back next year. The Denver Nuggets, man, they got a really, really bright future. And shout out to Jamal Murray, because him alongside Jokic, they are going to be the faces of that organization. But let's now move on to one of his rivals of the postseason, and that is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell had a sensational first round performance, and I know it was only in the first round and they blew a 3-1 lead, but D-Mitch played well in damn near every single game outside of Game 7, obviously, in which he still had an explosive third quarter that got them back in the game. Throughout the series, he averaged 36.3 points, along with 5 assists and 5 rebounds and a steal, while shooting 53% from the field, while also shooting 52% from behind the arc on over 9 attempts a game, and also shot 95% from the charity stripe. He was hitting threes, taking it to the basket with ease, knocking down mid-range jumpers, getting to the free throw line, and then when you just look at the game by games, he was following up great performances with more great performances, as in Game 1 he had a 57-point game, Game 2 he dropped 30, in Game 4 he dropped 51 again, and then also in Game 6 he had another 44-point game, Game 5 dropped 30, he only had 2 games in which he had below 30 points or less. Yes, this guy legit was on fire and unguardable, and similar to Jamal Murray, it's not like I'm expecting him to average 36, 35, whether in the regular season or playoffs, but I do believe that this kind of postseason play can give him the confidence to not only get better, but to reach that superstardom in the NBA sooner rather than later. Because I think the future for the Utah Jazz is to build around Donovan Mitchell and to move on from Rudy Gobert, because it's very clear that Gobert's defense is just not going to be enough to take this team to the next level. But moving on to the next and final player that broke out and showed everybody who he is this postseason, it is the one and only Jimmy G Butler. And the G stands for gets buckets because that's what he's done throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Coming into this season, people view Jimmy Butler as a cancer. He was cancerous in Minnesota to some people, cancerous to some people in Philly, not really buying into the philosophies of Brett Brown. And now look at where both of those organizations have ended up. Minnesota is drafting #1 in the draft, and the Philadelphia 76ers got sent home in a first-round sweep to the Boston Celtics, in which he and the Miami Heat disposed of in a 6-game series in the conference finals. And though they are currently down 2-1 against the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals, he got them a game in Game 3 without 2 of their top 3 players and his 2 best teammates in Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic. In Game 3, he would put up 40 points, 13 assists, and grab 11 rebounds, and shot 70% from the field. He shot 14 of 20 from the field, along with 12 of 14 at the free throw line, shooting 86%. Jimmy Butler was amazing offensively and defensively, and a credit to him because many people thought they were going to get swept, especially after just the first half of Game 1 alone, in which they were getting blown out and Goran Dragic had already left the game. And then in the beginning of the second half, what happens? Bam Adebayo goes out. So he puts his team on his back like he's done throughout his entire career. Because if there is not a guarantee in life other than death and taxes, there's always a guarantee that Jimmy Butler will show up in the playoffs. He will get the job done, and he's showing everybody. And I know some people, especially the Miami Heat fans, will say, hey, we thought Jimmy Butler was good. We all knew we had a shot to get to the finals. Yeah, that's cool. You're just a fan. I understand that. You want to back up your guy or your team. And I'm a Jimmy Butler fan as well. But realistically speaking, the Miami Heat were not favored by most people to even get out of the second round of the playoffs. Currently, they're only down 2-1, and Bam Adebayo was coming back tonight as I record this video on Tuesday, right before the game. So as far as I'm concerned, Jimmy Butler, even when his back is against the wall, he still goes out there and he gets you buckets. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He isn't the most athletic guy, but he can still go out there, make threes when it counts. He can still go out there and get to the basket when he needs to. He can draw fouls. He can knock down mid-range jumpers when required. He can do it all. And not to mention he's elite on the defensive side of the ball, even recording 2 steals and 2 blocks in his historic Game 3 performance in which he recorded a 40-point triple-double. Jimmy Butler is amazing, and so many people, all the haters, the doubters, including myself because I doubted the Miami Heat coming into this season, he's proven all of us wrong and made us look like a bunch of idiots. Shout out to Jimmy Butler, because say what you want about the East being weak and this finals being boring, he has made history and people will remember him forever. He solidified his Hall of Fame stature as far as I'm concerned, but that's just me and that's a topic for another discussion. And on that note, that concludes this video, you guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and comment your opinions down below. Also subscribe and push the bell for post notifications. It's your boy David from NBA Knowledge signing out. Stay safe and please wear a mask. Peace.